everybody, welcome back to Three Sisters Homestead. Today we're in the kitchen and we're going to be making a pumpkin roll. If you don't know what a pumpkin roll is, that is when we make a cake and you put it on a cookie sheet instead of a regular cake pan. And it's just going to be a really thin layer of cake, and then you roll it up with frosting inside of it. So the ingredients that we're going to have are some pumpkin puree. We made this from the pumpkins that we had gotten from a U-Pick orchard. Eggs, flour, baking soda, sugar, and powdered sugar. And then we also are going to be making the frosting. So we need cream cheese, powdered sugar, and vanilla for that. And cinnamon goes with the cake as well. So first we're going to start with making the cake batter. And like always, we always forget to get something out. We need the butter for the frosting as well.
First, we're gonna preheat the oven to 375 and then let that warm up.
Okay, so first we are going to add into one bowl our 2/3 cup of pumpkin puree. Okay. And then we're going to add in 3 eggs. And then we're just going to whisk that in. Now we're just going to use our little hand mixer and beat these eggs in. The sugar goes in with the pumpkin and eggs as well, so we're just going to dump that in and mix that in. Okay, and now we're going to move on to the dry ingredients. Okay, so we need 3/4 cup of flour. And into the bowl that goes. And then we need 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And we're going to whisk that in the way that it's evenly distributed into the flour. Alright, so now we're going to pour our dry ingredients into the wet ingredients and beat those in. And we want to scrape the sides and get all the flour in there. And then keep mixing. And we just need to add 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And then we're going to mix that in. And then our cake batter will be done. Alright, so we just have our cookie sheet lined with some parchment paper. And we're going to pour our cake batter on there. Putting this parchment paper on there just makes it easier to remove instead of having to fight with getting it off the pan. We can just lift the parchment paper right off onto our towel. And then we're just going to spread this out. Okay, now that we have this on our cookie sheet, we are going to put it in the oven for 15 to 25 minutes, just long enough until it is cooked and springy. Okay, so while that cake is cooking, we are going to make our cream cheese frosting. So we need 8 ounces of cream cheese into our bowl. Softened cream cheese. So it's been out of the fridge for, I don't know, what, half an hour, 40 minutes. And then we need 2 tablespoons of softened butter. We're just going to try to whip these up. And I'm going to make kind of like a hole in the middle. That way we can put our powdered sugar in that crater and try to fold this back on top of it a little bit so we don't fling it up all over the place, but probably going to happen anyway. We need 1 cup powdered sugar. So we're going to add this in slowly. About half of it first. Add some more. And we're going to add in the rest. Now that we have that all mixed up, we are going to add in the vanilla. But first I'm going to taste it and see if it needs any more sugar. Nope, it's good. So a fourth a teaspoon of vanilla. Last time, I think we ended up adding a little bit more vanilla. I think we might have done half. But we're gonna start with the fourth and see how it tastes. Just a couple more sprinkles of vanilla. You can add your vanilla to taste. It doesn't have to be specific from the recipe. And now we just have to wait. We're gonna put this in the fridge so that it gets a little bit chilled. And we're just gonna wait until our cake is done. Okay, so our cake is done. You can see it is springy. Okay, so we are going to take a freshly cleaned kitchen towel. We're gonna lay it out flat. We're gonna make sure there's not any strings that are gonna come off or any hairs or anything that are gonna stick in your cake. And then you're gonna take your powdered sugar and you're going to cover this towel generously with the powdered sugar. You see there are some clumps in here, so we are just going to break those clumps up. I'm gonna spread this out, and this powdered sugar won't ruin your towel or anything. It's just a powder. It'll wash right out, but make sure you shake it out so you're not putting a whole bunch of sugar in your washer. And now we are going to put our cake onto it. We're gonna try this one person because I'm sure a lot of people are not going to have extra hands to help them anyway. Try to put it back here and move it over. And just carefully peel off parchment paper so that you don't tear your cake. And then you're going to start at this end, fold it over, and roll it up. I think I need to do it from the side so I can get it nice and tight. And we're just gonna let this sit here until it's cool. This has been cooling for about an hour, so we're going to go ahead and carefully unroll this. When you unroll it, it is still going to try to hold its shape a little bit. And it might stick to your towel, so just be very gentle. We have our frosting. We are going to start on the end that is the most curled. We're just going to take our frosting, and you can use store-bought frosting, but our homemade did work out, so we're going to use this. We're just going to spread it in. And how much frosting you put in this is up to you. It just depends on how much frosting you like. We're gonna put a decent amount on there. I'm not very good with making frosting beautiful, but this is going to be rolled back up, so it doesn't matter how it looks on the inside. I'm just trying to spread this out evenly, get a little bit excess off, because Cheyenne said that she thought that last time we put a little bit too much on there. Now that we have our frosting spread out evenly, we are just going to roll this back up. We're going to start at the end that is more curled, and we're just going to roll this up pretty tight. Okay, and there you have it. Now, if you are going to be presenting this at a party or a family function or something, you can cut a little bit of this edge off. See, it's a little uneven and there's a whole bunch of frosting in there. If you cut this off to about here, it should make it nice and pretty. So we'll go ahead and do that. Make it a serrated blade because that seemed to cut it better. We're just going to cut right here. Cut that edge off to make it look nice and pretty. So that is your pumpkin roll. This is just gonna be our little sample piece that we're gonna eat, and I'll probably cut this other end off too, and we can both have a piece then. And then we're just gonna roll this up in some saran wrap. Okay, so we have our saran wrap laid out, so we're just going to pick this up and lay it on our saran wrap. And we're just gonna wrap this up so that we can put it in the fridge to chill. All right, and that is it. That is our pumpkin roll. These do freeze well. I haven't personally frozen any yet, but I've seen people say that they do freeze well. We're just gonna put this one in the fridge because we're gonna eat this week. I've let these sit in the fridge for about a week when I bought them from the store and they stayed good. So I assume that this will stay good for about a week or longer since it's fresh. The recipe will be in the description box below. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you in the next video.